to our launch of the Rock Talk podcast series by Rockingham County, New Hampshire. My name is Autumn Newsome. I am the recruiter here in Rockingham County and your host of the Rock Talk podcast series, where we talk about anything and everything to do with Rockingham County, who we are and what we are up to. So our launch episodes will have our county commissioners on here, as well as a few of our division directors and elected officials, to kind of encompass what really is Rockingham County. Where are we located? What type of services do we provide to our citizens and community? What type of departments do we have for job opportunities? And just really an overview of everything to do with us to introduce this podcast series. So in order to help me talk about this topic today, please welcome Commissioner Brian Chirichiello and Senior Director of Facilities Operations, Jude Gates, to the podcast. Welcome, you guys.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Of course. So just to allow our listeners to get to know you both, I would love to dive into really what you do for the county, how long you have worked here and serviced the county for, and a little bit about your background. So Jude, would you like to get started?
Sure. I've been here for about 34 years as the Director of Facilities. I came from Massachusetts, where I worked in corporate security, and I worked closely with facilities down there, but I really wanted to move to New Hampshire. It's where I wanted to live, and Brentwood is perfect for that. I am the Director of Facilities. I have about 26 employees. We take care of all of the county buildings and grounds. We have boiler operators, electricians, plumbers, grounds people. We run the water and wastewater treatment facilities. So we have those operators. We provide all of those facilities for each of the buildings.
Great. And how long have you been in service here at the county?
34 years.
That's wonderful. Good for you.
It is wonderful. It's a good job. I like it.
I'm sure you love your job.
I do.
Yeah, if you've been here for 34 years, that's good.
Yep, it changes all the time, but it keeps it interesting. It's great fun.
Yeah, keeps you on your toes.
It does that.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Commissioner Chirichiello?
Yeah, so I've been a county commissioner for 2.5 years. I was elected in 2020 for a 4-year term. So I'm actually entering my 3rd year. But before that, I was a state rep, and state reps do double duty as the delegation members. So I'm not new to the county, just the position is new. I did 5 terms, 10 years as a state rep, saw that there was a seat available and decided to run for it. And my background is I've been in local politics, state politics, and now I'm in county politics. So it's sort of like a hobby for me, and I really enjoy it. The county's great, and we're really lucky to have Jude.
We are.
Yes, she's awesome.
She is awesome.
Likewise.
So I'd love to kind of dive into the area of Rockingham County, because I know that you are both residents. So can I ask, did you grow up in Rockingham County? And if you didn't, what pulled you to live here? If you did, what pulled you to stay here and continue your career here? So let's dive into that a little bit.
I've been here for nearly 40 years. I wanted to move to New Hampshire. It's much more rural. I love the land. I like the fact that all of our neighbors had cows and horses and et cetera. It's just a beautiful area. And Brentwood in particular, we're 10 minutes from the coast, 15 minutes from Portsmouth, where there's really good shopping. It's just a beautiful, beautiful area. I really like it a lot. I'm very happy here.
You definitely get the best of many worlds.
You really do. You could take the train to Boston. Everything's nearby.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, my parents come from Massachusetts, came to Salem, New Hampshire. So, yes, when I was 6 years old, they came over. So I started first grade in Salem. And then I graduated Salem High School, and then I moved to Derry. So we're in the western portion of the county. So it's a little bit of a drive here to Brentwood, but it's not too bad. It's about a half-hour drive. And I actually enjoy Brentwood's a very nice town. So, And as Jude mentioned, you're close to Massachusetts. You're close to the ocean. You got everything you want right here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You've got great camping and vacations up north too. Just 45 minutes, an hour away. So it's definitely a great area. Now, I know that you are both in a very public service type of position, given that you work in a public service environment. So what made you choose a career specifically at Rockingham County? What made you want to get into the community so much so that you accepted a position, providing that public service? What kind of got you into that?
For me, I think that the facilities in general is a really interesting realm. And here at Rockingham County, there are so many different opportunities. The jail is so much different from the grounds, is so much different from the long-term care facility. So it was really varied, and there were a lot of interesting elements to it. We also take care of the capital improvements, and the commissioners provide a lot of guidance that way. It's kind of a nice dynamic. I really liked the variety more than anything else. I think that's what brought me here, and that's what's kept me here.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm on the elected official side of things. But when I was a young man growing up, my father always said, get involved. You can't complain unless you get involved. And so I did get involved at many different levels, and it's just been a part of who I am. As I mentioned, I'm a Derry Town Councilor. I was a state rep. Now I'm on the county side of things, so very well rounded in how government works. And first gig, 2020, I was elected to the county side of things, and I'm really enjoying that because it's executive branch government.
Right.
You have a little bit more say, and so I do enjoy it tremendously.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's good to be able to love your job.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So Jude, I know that you mentioned that you really do have a dynamic department, given that you service so many different aspects of Rockingham County. So can you kind of go into what facilities operations does for the county, as a kind of like a high level overview for people that may not know?
Sure. Well, we take care of all of the utilities associated, all the electric, the fuel. We take care of the buildings, the infrastructure, the water, the wastewater. And then we also look forward with the commissioners. How can we best serve the greater community is more, how can we help the taxpayers? So we looked at, about 10 years ago, we built a biomass plant. So we burn wood instead of oil, and we save. The building paid for itself inside of 4 or 5 years. We're looking at, with the commissioner's support, we will look for several years at the potential for a solar array. So we're putting a solar array out back. That's going to save the taxpayers $1,600,000 a year. So as far as serving the greater community, we do it by controlling the taxes on the inside.
Right.
It's very gratifying.
I bet to be able to, continue to progress to ensure that we are doing the most environmentally conscious things here. And how great it is that we have a progressive board of commissioners as well that allows us to implement those projects and oversee things like that in order to, best support the taxpayer dollars that we have. On the flip side to that being that you are a county commissioner, Brian, can you kind of go into what goes behind overseeing projects like that? With our new building going in, the new solar farm, what is your kind of role in that?
Yeah, I'm happy to talk on that. So as I mentioned, when I was on the delegation side of things as a state rep, we had discussed collectively of putting in a brand new building. And at that time it was really sort of a dream scenario. Didn't really think it was going to happen for a while. As you may know, our county attorney and our Registry of Deeds are in the basement of the courthouse, and they're very cramped. And so when I got elected in 2020 and the COVID period hit,
oh boy,
we ended up getting money from the federal government. To the tune of about $61 million. And so at that time, we said, okay, the dream that we had about a new building maybe become a reality.
Right.
And so we worked hard in allocating funds for the new building. And then we had also discussed at the time that the building committee talked about solar panels on covered parking for the new building, which would have generated electricity for the new building. But when the ARPA monies came in, we said, why don't we look at doing a 5 megawatt solar array to take care of the whole county complex? And we're using federal dollars for that but the benefit is to the taxpayers because the next 35 years, the savings is going to be at least 600,000.
Right.
So that's a good return on investment.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
and I'm very excited to see that we've started that process. So.
I've seen the trucks digging outside recently,
very
so
exciting.
yes, it's nice to break ground after
For
all
sure.
these months and months and years, really, of planning.
We
So
started looking at it in 2017. You were on that subcommittee, so it's been 6 years
wow,
from then until breaking ground. It's
Yeah.
been a lot of work and a lot of. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Come to fruition.
And we do
for
have
sure.
to give some credit to the delegation as well, because
Absolutely.
we also bonded some of the money. In fairness, we figured the future taxpayers could help pay for that new building as well. So we asked the delegation to bond up to 30 million. We only spent 25, but that's going to be the other half of the building cost. So half of it's ARPA money, and then the other half is a bond that we did. And the beauty of that is we have 2 bonds that were coming up at the county level. So the financial hit wasn't really anything major.
Right.
Yeah. So
That's great.
yeah.
How rewarding is it to
Yeah.
be able to oversee and be able to kind of see how progressive we get to be each year as it continues? So I'm excited to see the building when it
Me
finally
too.
comes to fruition. Now changing gears a little bit, we've kind of dove into it a little bit, but how would you to describe the culture here at Rockingham County? As you had mentioned, there is such a large variety of different types of people that work here, different types of people that live here. There's certainly a large variety of, cities versus beaches versus outdoor recreation, available at Rockingham County, both in our direct community here at the campus as well as the entire county itself. So how would you describe the culture here at Rockingham County and the types of, people that you come across in your day-to-day and how those interactions go?
I think for such a large county, it's surprisingly intimate. I think people really establish relationships quickly. I know the guys that work in the buildings, they know the residents. They do their jobs to make sure that the residents are comfortable. It's sort of, they take a lot of ownership in the building. I think people feel a real sense of intimacy when they come to work here. And it's like that in all the buildings, I think.
Yeah. When I came to the county, I have to tell you, the most pleasant people to work with. I always see people smiling. I see the team atmosphere all the time. And that's not to say that my town side isn't similar, but I think at the county has been tremendous. So, I mean, everyone's got a great attitude, and sort of makes our jobs a lot easier. People enjoy their job, and that's what I want to see as a commissioner, that people enjoy their job. So I think it's great. And again, team atmosphere. We get things done, and we all work together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely. And so, Brian, as a county commissioner, for those that are listening that may not know the entire, there's a lot that goes into it, but
Yeah.
can you kind of provide a high-level overview of what really a county commissioner is and does for the community, but also the people that work here
Yeah.
and all of that?
I'll try to simplify it as much as I possibly can. So there's 3 commissioners in each county. There's 10 counties in the state. The commissioner's job is to oversee the day-to-day of each county. Many counties actually have county administrators. We do not have that here at Rockingham County. So the commissioners really get their fingers into government here. We can do that because our department heads are so good.
Yes,
And
they're all
they know
very
what they're
well-rounded.
doing and very trustworthy. They know their jobs. You don't have to babysit or anything. We are very fortunate in Rockingham County to have the department heads that we do have. So we're overlooking a $95 million budget. That deals with the nursing home, assisted living, maintenance, buildings and maintenance, the county attorney, Registry of Deeds, the sheriff's office, and the county correctionals. I don't know if I left anybody off, but we have I want to say we have roughly about 500 employees.
About, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm going to be honest with you, it really runs, if I wasn't here and there was someone in my place, it's going to run really well. Very impressed with how things how smooth things are run here.
Right. And that's what's so great about Rockingham County is it really, could run itself. We definitely do have the right people in the right positions to be able to make educated decisions. Lots of people that oversee projects here, such as you, Jude, you stay very up to date with education and networking to ensure that what we are doing is the best thing to do in that moment.
Right.
So that kind of segues me into my next question is, how do you stay up to date in your position, ensuring that, like I said, you are staying up to date with your education and your networking to make sure that we are making the best, most educated decisions for not only the people that work here, but also our citizens in Rockingham County?
I think that I first of all, I surround myself with really well-qualified, licensed, employees. Though they are always taking education and bringing it back to all of us. I have a lot of peers that I can go to. A lot of my work has to do with life safety and code enforcement and things like that. The fire department is a great resource. The life safety inspectors from the state of New Hampshire are great resources. So as the code updates come through, I try and stay on top of them. I confer with my colleagues, I confer with the authorities, and I confer with my licensed employees.
Right.
So you kind of take it at every level.
Right. And the good thing about Rockingham County is that education is certainly welcomed, and supported. So should you ever wish to further your education, we have programs, that assist with that and definitely supportive commissioners that, are there to make sure that we are as up to date and educated as possible.
Absolutely.
Yes, and that's one of the things that I'm really focusing in on in the next couple of years here is the employees here. And the stipends that we have provided and the educational opportunities where people can actually move in a career that they want, they have a lot of different opportunities. And, I've always said, it's not about the elected officials per se. It's really about the people that do the actual work.
Right.
I do have a job outside of commissioner that I make a living in. And that's where my total expertise is. But here at the county, the departments, I can't say enough about the department heads. They know what they're doing, and we want to support everybody. We have great employees here, so if anyone's thinking about coming, they should come over and take a look, and I'm sure they'd be extremely happy.
Yeah, absolutely. You know who to talk to. I'm the recruiter, so.
Yeah, exactly. And you just came aboard not that long ago.
A little over a year, so. Yeah, it's I've had a wonderful ride here too. So,
Yep.
Now I'd love to talk about what you have learned about Rockingham County as you continue your years of service here. What is unique about Rockingham County that citizens may not know about that we do? What can be unique in your specific positions?
You want me to start?
Please.
So, I was just looking up something online, and I've come to find out that Rockingham County is the healthiest county in the state of New Hampshire.
Is that right?
We rank number 1.
Wow.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
So that's tremendous if you think about it.
Yeah.
The fact that we live close to the ocean, the mountains, you've got everything you want. And again, healthy lifestyle, and being able to connect to, again, beaches and mountains and everything. And a great working environment, I don't think you can ask for anything more.
Right.
I agree. And that healthy lifestyle keeps your stress level down too. So I think that contributes a lot as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Working with a team, feeling supported, from your coworkers, from the commissioners. We're blessed to have really supportive commissioners. I think that helps a lot too with, job happiness keeps you sticking around, keeps you healthier.
Oh, for sure. And having that supportive community to
Absolutely.
back your ideas that you have.
Yes.
And be able to progress into bigger and better things always. I think that's certainly our goal, is to make sure that at the end of the day, we service our community with the utmost customer service possible. And I think that's at the end of the day what being a commissioner or being a division director is all about, is making sure that at the end of the day our one goal is to service our community and service our employees that work here. And how great and rewarding is that to be able to be in that type of position.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to just again, blow the horn for the Rockingham County. What I've witnessed is, again, 10 counties in the state. What I've seen is other counties reaching out to Rockingham County asking for input. So that speaks volumes when other counties are asking us how we do things.
Mm-hmm.
Again, a tribute to the people here, and it's amazing.
Right. We're very lucky to be where we are.
We are.
I always say we're the best, and it's not just because I'm a county commissioner in Rockingham County. It's
true.
because we are the best.
Right, right. Absolutely. So switching gears a little bit, I'd love to dive into how our citizens and how our employees can get more involved with Rockingham County, because there is certainly a lot of opportunities for involvement in community service and volunteering. So I guess I should ask, what is your favorite way that you guys get involved in your community and get involved in Rockingham County?
One of my biggest pet peeves would be apathy. When I see people that may complain but they don't participate, that's something that I want to think of differently. And so again, that's probably why I've been in politics for a while. I get active, but people need to get active. It's really and it is everybody's community, and it's important to have a say. And you've heard the old expression, you can't complain if you don't participate.
Right.
And so participate. We could disagree on how things get done, but that's okay as long as we don't have apathy. That's the worst thing that people can have.
Everybody's voice is important. And we have the board meetings where people can come to, join through Zoom, or, they're on YouTube now. So people are able to keep touch with us and keep tabs on what we're doing. So that's always been good to have too.
And you mentioned the nursing home. We brought on some department heads that have brought the nursing home from a 2-star rating of Medicare.gov to a 5-star. So think about that for a second. We're going through COVID, and it's hard to get nurses, yet the quality of care has gone from a 2-star to a 5-star. That speaks volumes to me.
Right, with deficiency-free surveys and all of that. It's been wonderful.
And we get the assisted living again. Yeah. We get that going. The new building, there's a lot of positive things happening.
A lot of excitement. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think the truth is we're always receptive to input.
Right.
We are happy to have the employee say, hey, this might work out, or this might be helpful. People can, even the neighbors occasionally will call and say, hey, what's happening out there? And how are you doing that? And I think a lot of people are engaged and willing to give suggestions because they're always considered. It's very much like you say, the team spirit, I think, is there. We want to know what people think and what's going to make an improvement. And that's often how we get there.
Right. And at the end of the day, that is in itself networking and making sure that we are doing the best thing possible for the county and for the citizens that we have here, is by making sure that voices that want to be heard are heard, and considering those voices and making it part of the decision-making process as well. So I think that's excellent. And I know that, Brian, you have previously been on a board as well. So can you kind of talk about your experience with how you got involved in kind of public service in general and how that led you here?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. So believe it or not, I volunteered for the town of Derry, was looking for, this is way, way back now, looking for volunteers to actually do the filming the town councils.
Oh, yeah.
And they used to meet at the library, and they had a van. They would bring the van over every Thursday or whatever, and we'd set up with all this camera equipment. That's how I got started, and I watched a lot of these meetings, and I watched planning board, and I just got more and more involved, and kept quiet, didn't say anything, listened. And I could hear the two different groups in the talking about different things. So I really got educated on that. And then I just decided that I was ready to move. And I sort of moved up the chain. So I went from a camera operator to running the cable, the cable group as chair. I ended up getting robotic cameras, and people were like, "You're never gonna get that. You never know until you ask."
Yeah.
Right.
We got it. And then I moved from there to planning board. And then someone said, you got to run for town council. And it just progressed all those ways. And so
that's interesting.
yeah. So
I didn't know about your background before.
Yeah,
That's very
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I've been in politics for quite a long time, so I've served, and it's sort of like a hobby for me.
Right,
This is my hobby,
right.
but I enjoy it because I'm giving back to my community and I'm helping people.
And what's really special about Rockingham County is it doesn't feel like a political environment here, even though there's so many different elected officials we have, representing their specialty, if you will. At the end of the day, we all definitely have that one mindset, that one goal of making sure that at the end of the day we are servicing our community, protecting their taxpayer dollars.
Yeah.
And so it really is, although at starting a political environment, because you have to get elected into the positions that are elected, once you're here, it really is that shared goal of ensuring that, we are being progressive and making sure that our citizens are getting what they need.
Absolutely. And I just, right at this point, I would like to discussed that our delegation, which is made up of, I want to say 92 state reps, they vote the bottom line. But I have to say, since I've been here, they have been very supportive of us, the department heads and the commissioners.
Right.
So the commissioners have to deal with the day-to-day numbers. We get to basically spend the money. The delegation approves the money, bottom line, but it's almost unanimous with that many state reps who buy into the program. We educate them, we keep them updated, and they understand what we're trying to do here, and they understand that we're number one, and they have been very supportive of the county as well.
That's great.
So
That's a good
it
point,
is
yeah.
important to give them kudos as well.
Right. And so, Jude, what has your experience been in your relationship with the commissioners and your further relationship with the delegation that oversees, the commissioners and all of the aspects here at Rockingham County? What has been your experience in, communicating and creating a relationship with them?
I find that the commissioners have always been very supportive, receptive. If you want to bring them a notion like the solar or the biomass, if you have done your homework and you're able to explain it, the commissioners are very forward thinking. And if it's to the benefit of the taxpayers, then they always want to hear more. Very supportive. And I think the delegation has been the same way. We work really hard to make sure they know what we're working on and how the projects are going along. They check in with us quarterly. And I think overall they've been very, very supportive. It's kind of a surprise. Like you say, it doesn't feel like a political atmosphere at all. It's very, very supportive, and they know what we want, and it's like we have the same goals.
Right.
Yeah, and that's not in every county. I won't name any other counties,
No.
as it wouldn't be fair, but some counties have had battles between delegation members and county commissioners. We're very, very fortunate, being the second largest, that we don't have that. It's very smooth, and that's sort of a blessing for us, I believe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. So I think that just about wraps up our conversation about Rockingham County. It's been wonderful to have you both on today's podcast. Thank you so much for joining. For our listeners, you can always catch us on all sorts of social media: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and this podcast will be posted on Spotify as well as Apple Music as well. We have 2 more episodes out with our other commissioners, so definitely feel free to check those out as well to get to meet a couple of our other commissioners as well as division directors and elected officials. Otherwise, always feel free to check out our job opportunities. Our very own facilities operations is hiring, so Jude would love to see you come through. You would connect with myself. I'm the recruiter here. Otherwise, we have our website that is always up to date. You really can keep tabs on us and keep following us in many different facets, but in any case, I will link everything in the show notes so that you have ease of access to keep following us. Otherwise, we are looking to have a new podcast episode out monthly, so keep an eye out for that. But otherwise, thank you very much, Commissioner Chirichiello and Jude, for coming on today's podcast.
Thank you very much, and keep up the good work, Autumn. When we hired you, you're doing a tremendous job for us.
I
Keeping
agree.
us up
You've
with
been great.
technology. It's fantastic. So thank you.
Thank you very much.